Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to do this variation of the Tunisian rib stitch. Now we're going to start by using our yarn, and I'll also be using a 4mm Tunisian crochet hook. Now this variation of the Tunisian rib stitch is worked over a multiple of 4 plus 2. In the case of this tutorial, I'll be starting with 14 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and as is custom with Tunisian crochet, I'm going to pull up loops going across the row. So in the second chain from our hook, we're going to insert our hook and pull up a loop, and we're going to pull up one loop in each of the chains going across the row. Now, at the end of the row, we should have the same number of loops on our hook as the number of chains we would have started with. So I started with 14 chains, which means that I should have 14 loops on my hook. And I'm just going to go ahead and count to make sure. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I'm also going to be doing a traditional Tunisian return pass. So I'm going to start by chaining 1, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm going to do that until I'm left with only one loop on my hook. Now this variation of the Tunisian rib stitch is worked by the use of the Tunisian knit stitch and the Tunisian purl stitch. Now I've done tutorials on both previously. I'll link them in the cards above as well as in the description below so that you may practice those as well if you're new to Tunisian crochet. Now you'll notice vertical bars going across the rows. These will be used as markers for each stitch. Now there's a loop that's already on our hook, and it's coming from this vertical bar here, which means that this is our first stitch. We're going to skip this bar, and in the stitch beside it here, or next vertical bar, we're going to work a knit stitch. A knit stitch is worked from the middle of the stitch. So you'll notice the top of the vertical bar here. There's also a back bar. The knit stitch is worked through the stitch. So I'm going to do that for 2 counts. Insert my hook inside the stitch, then I'm going to pull up a loop. I'm going to do the same in the next stitch as well. So those are 2 knit stitches, and then I'm going to do 2 purl stitches to follow. To do a purl stitch, we're going to take our yarn, can place it downwards like this. I'm going to hold it in place with my thumb. Then I'm going to insert my hook behind the vertical bar from right to left. Take my yarn and place it under my hook. Yarn over and pull up a loop. That's a purl stitch. So I'm going to do that once more. Take my yarn, place it downwards. I'm going to hold it in place with my thumb. Insert my hook behind the next vertical bar from right to left. Take my yarn, place it under my hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So those are 2 purl stitches. and then I'm going to follow that with 2 knit stitches. Remember that the knit stitch is worked from the inside of the stitch. You'll see the inside right there. So I'm going to do 2 knits, 1, 2, and then I'm going to do 2 purls. So 1, 2, 2 knits, 1, 2, and then 2 purls. So we have 1, and 2. And in the last stitch, we're going to do a neat border stitch. To do that, you can turn your work to the side. We'll be working our hook not only to the top of the stitch, but you'll see a corresponding back bar as well. We're going to insert our hook through both, like that, and then pull up a loop. Now you should have the same 14 loops on the hook as before, and I'll count just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So always go ahead and count the loops on your hook just to make sure that you're on the right track. And then I'm going to do a standard return pass, which means that I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and I'm going to do that until I'm at the end of the row, or until I only have 1 loop remaining on my hook. Now, this variation of the Tunisian rib stitch is a 1 row repeat, which means that we're going to do in the next row and all the rows following that the same thing that we did in the last row. So we're going to start by doing 2 knit stitches. So insert it to the middle of the stitch here and pull up a loop. So that's our second knit stitch, and then we're going to do 2 purls. Two knits, and 2 purls. Two knits, and 2 purls. And in our last stitch, we're going to do the border stitch as we've done before. And then complete the return pass in the same way that we did before. So chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and do that until we only have 1 loop remaining on our hook. And you can already see the rib pattern coming to life there. Now go ahead and continue that until you're at your desired length. Now this is how the project looks on a larger sample. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so as yet. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!